the other thing that strikes me when I think of my years here, and we had some tragedies and
Yes.
and things to deal with, but students and parents understood
Absolutely.
and we'll talk about, can we go to church to pray? They would initiate some things, and faculty as well. They knew
Absolutely.
that prayer was what
Important.
we can do for this family.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
That reminds me of 9/11. I was principal here in 9/11, and I remember the day, and the parents were wonderful, and I said to them, our children do not know anything, and they will go home not knowing anything. They will hear it from their parents. And the parents were wonderful. And I remember calling the pastor, Father Bill Koenig was the pastor. At 6 o'clock the next morning, I called him on his cell and I said, I'd like you all here first thing in the morning. And they were all here. And the children, the 8th graders, came to me and said, could we pray today? I will never forget it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
how we bonded together as a community. Because we lost quite a few people that were part of the school community. But it affirmed for me, this is who we are and what we do together.
Yeah. Sometimes they come back and because it's a home to them. They come back and they want to see their old teachers and they want to see it's their family and they don't forget their family.
Yeah, for me, since I still live here, the proudest thing for me is that when graduates come up to say hello or introduce their child, or I go to a doctor's office, which just happened recently, and the mother told a funny story of her son getting into the St. Vincent de Paul bin looking for my shoes.
Oh, I've heard that story.
Oh yeah, but right away she would remember, and she was going to call him immediately to tell him she had seen me, and those are the moments that I think, you touch people's lives, and sometimes you know it, and sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
But I think those of us in education really don't even know how many lives we've touched, as far as students and parents, friends. Once in a while we learn, but not very often. But for me, teaching ministry, as a teacher or administrator, as superintendent, it is such an important work. And I don't think teachers in this country, public or private religious schools, get what they deserve for all that they do for children and for families.
Every single day. Right.
Yeah.
I would say we had a student who transferred here from public school. Probably about, I guess, maybe 4th grade, 5th grade. He'd really been struggling in public school. And he came here, and we really and truly changed his life. And he just always stands out to me. He then went off to Kellenberg for high school. He's at Fairfield now.
Oh, wow.
And I still hear from him, from his family. And that was just such a gratifying, satisfying moment to have changed someone's life. And piggybacking off what you said, sometimes we don't even realize that, but it's always nice to hear it when we do.
It is.
Even once in a while.
Right, every once in a while, right, exactly.
And how many of our former students are now parents and their children are here?
Here.
I mean,
Yes.
that really says it all to me.
It
when
does.
I know
They move
that,
back to their roots.
Yeah, I have a former student of mine who's in the same parish I'm in now, and she has 4 children, and I think 3 of them are already here now, and 1 more will be coming. So that says it. I mean, if you want to send your children to the place where you've been to school, that says a lot.
Yes.
Right there.
It does.
We always had pastors here, always, that were
Supporters.
true supporters
Yes.
of Catholic
Yes.
education.
Right, and that makes a huge
Yeah,
difference.
It
that's
does.
a big. And, quick story, I ran into Father Eric Fasano yesterday. He celebrated Mass at Sacred Heart, and we got to chatting, and he said, because he was here the first 6 years of his priesthood, and he said to me, they were the best years of my life. I will never, ever forget how wonderful it was to be at St. William. So I share that with all of you, too. It's beyond us, too, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I joke and I say I must have done something right in my life
Yes.
to wind up at St. William Abbott.
And before,
Something went right.
you're right, Elizabeth, and before I came here, I remember it, I went for an interview in another school in our diocese. I'm not gonna mention any names, and did not get it, and I was like devastated.
Mhm.
And St. William's came up like 2 weeks later. It was part of God's plan, and he knew
I
this
agree.
was the best place for me to be. I don't believe in coincidences. It is part of God's plan that all of us are sitting
Ended
around
up
this
here.
table today.